Okay, yeah. So, hello everyone. I'm Gabriel Florencio Alves. We will be here for the Generative AI-powered Automate Workload Evaluation. I'm here with Luis, please.
Hi, hello, Luis Rodriguez. So, yeah, our idea here is present, let's say, a real use case, not only, let's say, wireframes, shallow demos. This is something that's being used in real life, right? So, let's start.
Definitely. And first, I would like to introduce how we started thinking about this presentation. So first, I presented only about the automated workload evaluation using Python and CloudWatch. And after this talk that I did for AWS user group in Porto, Luis also presented one regarding Amazon Q developer. And we talk each other, we could merge, we could combine both presentations, and we could use the AI capabilities, the generative AI capabilities for this use case. And we will explain why this is important when you compare with some vendors in the market, and how this can help us in our companies for personal projects. And we will talk about an interesting tool, a really interesting tool, which is Amazon Q Developer, and how this tool can help us for this use case and other use cases as well. So first, this is the who am I, but in AWS, this is the AWS STS get color identity. So this is a little bit about us. I am Gabriel. I am currently a security engineer manager at Scopely, a gaming company. I'm an AWS User Group Porto co-organizer, together with Luis. I'm also part of the AWS Community Builder program for the 4th year. And I already worked as a cloud security engineer for BMW Group, the Critical Tech Works company. And I pass the ball to Luis.
Yeah, so today I work at the Kantar, right? It's a British-based company that works in a advertising segment, right? Very specific, worldwide, big one, really cool. Like Gabriel said, now I'm part of AWS User Group Portal co-organizer, right? Because before this Kantar role, I was in AWS, right? And as a AWS employee, I couldn't be part of the, let's say, user group organizer, right? Because I was a AWS employee, right? And I also worked for a VMware, Microsoft, some examples, some companies that I already have the opportunity to work with, right? So, and is that, right?
Yes, and now we will introduce the demo, an agenda that contains a demo in the end, so please be with us until the end. And, well, you know, like, the danger happens when a demo happens, like. So our agenda is, we will introduce which AWS service you use it, but for which purpose? As we are part of the AWS user group, we chose the cloud provider AWS, okay? We also talk about some workloads, and you see that workloads can be some services, special services. We will talk about how the initial script was done with Python and Bot3 library. And also we will talk a little bit about Amazon CloudWatch dashboard. And last but not least, about the Amazon Q Developer tool, doing the generative AI role. And after that, the demo, okay? So let's start. This is all the services that we used. Like, really important services here was the AWS organizations. This is extremely important as we connect the script with all the AWS organization member accounts in AWS. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 accounts, like we did a test. Doesn't matter if you have hundreds of accounts. I already tested in companies this same script and worked with a bigger environment about AWS organizations. So it doesn't matter. We also use the CloudWatch for the dashboard part, and this UI is really important because when you do this same test with some vendors in the market, they have their own script, they have their own formula, they have their own UI, and you need their platform to see and visualize the service. But why not see internally? Why not to use your own environment to detect your workloads and also to see the dashboard metrics? Also, we have the Amazon Quill, which will be our star, which will be for generating sites, for using the generative AI together with the script working. And we also have these workloads. So a little explanation here. We have instance. Instances are closer to virtual machines, so we have EC2 instance. We also have workloads that can be containers. So we have ECS, Elastic Container Services. We also have EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Services. And we have also serverless containers, which is more Fargate side. We also have the SageMaker distributions. This is also related to AI workload. And we also have the Lambda functions, which is also serverless. So this is all different workloads, right? How we measure different workloads and how we calculate a ratio, how we calculate metrics with different workloads. Because in our environments, we have a lot of AWS accounts. We have a lot of different workloads and resources to make our application work, to make our software work. So let's see how we did. So first of all, we need some requirements to run this script. So the first one is using the Python version. This was tested with the 3.6 or higher. We also need some installations like Boto3, Botocore, TQDM. These are Python libraries that are necessary. And we also use the AWS CLI to configure with the valid AWS credentials. Regarding this part of the access, you just need a role for read-only permissions. So this is not disruptive. This does not need write operations. You just need read-only. And IAM role and IAM policy to access these member accounts and the workloads, listing only read-only operations to avoid friction. And this is the organization account access policy. So as you can see, it's a effect allow, which will describe, get, list, everything related to workloads, everything related to the instance, everything related to the tasks for ECS, everything related to the clusters in EKS, to the endpoints or domains in SageMaker, and we will also put the metric for the CloudWatch, put the dashboard, and do the row assumption for the service token, the security token service in AWS, and list the accounts in AWS organizations, and also describe these accounts with the information there. So we also have a lot of main features regarding this solution, this script, which is neutral. Like you don't need a company to do like that. When you are doing an evaluation, you can hire a CSPM tool, for example, a Cloud Security Posture Management tool. We have a lot of tools in the market, and they use it to send their script. And I already did this. I already did a lot of POCs, a lot of tests, a lot of evaluations with their own, and the numbers are always different. Like, okay, this is telling me that I have hundreds of workload, I know, but the data was different. So, okay, let's try to build an in-house development, and let's try to put the metric in a dashboard. So we don't need the vendor, the tool, dashboard, the UI. So we can use CloudWatch for that. And better than this, using the generative AI, how we get insights regarding this number. How we can fix issues automatically and run a script to fix a security issue there. So we will show this in the demo as well. First, we need to understand the features that we are covering. So these are pretty important features. So we need something that works multi-account, because normally a company in AWS has a lot of accounts. Who here has AWS environment worked with or know that your company is using AWS Cloud? Please raise your hand. I can hand the mic. You cannot raise your hand anymore. Yeah. So we have a lot of companies working in AWS cloud provider. So we have a multi-account situation here. We have a multi-region because not everything is in the default region. It's in North Virginia, so other regions, Ohio, Ireland, etc. We also need automated workload calculation. And when we are talking about calculation, I will show you how works the ratios for these different workloads. It's pretty interesting. And the multi-thread processing is to speed up the process and do the concurrent and parallel threads when you are doing the scanning. And also, it's pretty important, the logging part in CSV and texting format, and a prompt mode, an interactive one, so you can easily find which commands you can use. To let's see, I don't want all the accounts, I just want to know the security account, so you can specify the account ID. And we have a custom CloudWatch metrics and the dashboard integration as well. So here we have parts of the code. There's no problem in it. We have a GitHub for that. But this is only about, this is a function to get the list of all accounts in the AWS organizations. Also, the script will work like that. In the demo, you show with the AI, but this is the part of when you are running the script and publishing the metrics for every workload, so you get different numbers. Like I have 99 EC2 workload instance, what is equivalent of this number of units, and one Lambda function. Like this will show us a number in the total, so we have 100 workloads. But this is why we have a ratio behind. And this is also publishing in the CloudWatch, in a dashboard. This is also part to fetch account names in AWS organizations. So we can use this for all the regions, and automatically can list all your accounts, all the regions that you have. This is a role assumption because you need the permissions to and use the STS services in all these accounts. So you need the policy, the IAM role, and you can scanning with only read-only operations. Multi-thread process is to execution for a faster processing in parallel. When you are scanning account A, you can scan account B, C, D, etc. And if you need to specific account, if you need a specific use case for the script, this will work as well. And you can see a different ratio here for Lambda. You understand why this value is not an integer number. And we also have the support for multi-account and multi-regions, which behind we have a sum up of these resources. Okay, so let's talk about the ratio. So for the cloud workloads, the relationship is one-to-one. When you are talking about a EC2 instance, is the same of you having a ECS, for example, of you have a EKS, for example, or if you have a light sail instance. So this is, we work as a one workload unit, okay? But this is different for other services. For Fargate, for example, Fargate tasks, which is serverless container, container service, we have the ratio 1:10. So for each 10 Fargate tasks that we have, is the same that one EC2, for example, okay? And the same for SageMaker endpoints or domains. And regarding Lambda functions, which is more performance, the ratio is different, it's 1:50. So when you have 50 Lambda functions, serverless functions, this is the same of one EC2 or one EKS or one, let's say, instance, okay? This is the ratio to put everything together, and of course, 1:10 is 0.1, 1:50 is 0.02. This is the heaviest of each workload. So each workload will normalize, and you have the metrics regarding workload units. These are the log files. Logs are pretty important to retain this data. So you can see in CSV and also in text. Like you can see account A, account B, the ID, the region, and how many workload units they have. And also the ratio here. As we can see, we have 90 EC2 instances, 90 is the have, but we have here, for example, 5 Lambda functions. When you multiply per 0.02, you have 0.1, okay? So this is the mechanism of the script, and this is the part of the CSV and text logging. that we built. Also, we have the prompt mode, and for the prompt mode, you need to interact with the script, so you can check all the AWS accounts if you keep this in blank, or you can specify your own AWS account. You can specify the regions or get all the regions scanned. You can specify a different role for security reasons, or you can specify the default one. And if you create a CSV file, text file, you can say yes or no, and the same for the CloudWatch dashboard, which can be optional. And you have here the evaluation of the workloads and these numbers related that will be published for the CloudWatch. Okay? This is the part that you go to do the user inputs interactively for the prompt mode. And this is the help flags. When you don't remember which specific account you want, you can put in the help mode. We also have the CloudWatch dashboards to visualize that, because the graphs from these vendors, sometimes you don't have, you just want to do a POC with 3, 4 different vendors like Wiz, Orca Security, SentinelOne. There are a lot of tools in the market, and they need to, and they charge you per workload. That's why this is important. Like, if they are charging me, how many EC2 instances I have matters, because if they say you have 100 EC2 instances and the price is per unit, and I can say, no, I have 90, the price is a little bit now. So we can see in the CloudWatch dashboard, and you can follow up. We can monitor this in a graphical manner, okay? So, and now with this, we can get some insights with generative AI. For that, we use Amazon Q Developer, and I pass the word to Luis.
So now, stitching together, right? I watched this presentation and I started to think, why not get these results and, let's say, amplify the results using GenAI, right? Because in that time I was, let's say, presenting Amazon Q and doing some POCs with some customers. So I tested and I saw pretty interesting, let's say, results using Q Developer, right? And then we stitched together to get everything on the same level, right? When I'm talking about Q Developer, is that piece here, right? And this is part of how I call it ecosystems. AWS don't like that we call it ecosystems because there's some internal. Anyway, I call ecosystem, right? This is the amount of services related to GenAI and AWS. So we have a bunch of services. If you want to, let's say, create more, expand, plenty of services that you can use. But the focus today is in Amazon Q Developer, right? And Amazon Q Developer is a tool, GenAI tool that helps not only developers. In my case, I'm not a developer. I'm more DevOps infrastructure guy, right? So help me on the operations. Help me to review Terraforms. Help me to correct errors in Terraform or get insights from the data and the results that I'm having on my CLI. So this is another important aspect. Amazon Q Developer you can use as a plugin in your IDE. For example, I use VS Code, right? Or you can use in the CLI. So I also have a jump hosted in one lab with Linux and Amazon Q CLI in that bash. So straight to the bash, right? And has built-in security, let's say all the knowledge that AWS talk about in the pillars, the AWS framework, right, is in that model. So you can take advantage of the recommendations of the good practice that AWS preconize on the framework is already here. All right. So the capabilities, like I said, for developer, build fast. For operations, operate fast and operate better, and sometimes automate the operation and the operation recovery. Right. Helps also to transform workloads. So if you have one workload running in, so for example, VMware, and you want to migrate to the cloud, AWS has a product that does, I will say, 99% of this work for you, right? And also leverage data and AI, so you can use AI and data for all this stuff, right? So in order to show this, because PowerPoint accepts everything, right? It's easy to talk. So this is a small demo that we did. Yeah, recorded to not be so bad, right? So this is the script, just to show the script is there in my environment. So, okay, VS Code, but I have the CLI down there, so let's run the Amazon queue. Okay, I have Amazon queue. In this case, I use Cloud Sonnet 4. I can choose Cloud Sonnet 4.5, for example, but let's go with the standard. So forget me about my typos, right? English is a second language. We have some issues like that. So I'm writing to AWS, get the script in this folder and run it and get the results for me. I didn't even say the name of the scripts, right? He discovered the scripts. He discovered the parameters. Oh, CSV text, because I asked him to generate those, right? Yeah, no, I didn't. So grab the scripts, run it, and give me the results, right? So in this case, I have a small organization, just 2 accounts. I didn't select the regions, anything like that, but it's running, right? And this is accelerated, of course, right? So after some time running, he did the sum up like Gabriel explained it, right? So created the CSV, created some, yeah. He gave me a Terraform with, let's say, workloads populated with some EC2 machines, ECS, AKS. So this JSON is already a JSON he created on top of the result of his script, right? So I said, okay, record that JSON, and Amazon Q also brought me in, let's say, plain text. How many units, 7 EC2 instances, 1 KS, where they are running. Look, in that account, not in my OmniLex account, 0 workload, right? So I have straight on the queue prompt, more information, right? So what I did in the sequence, I told to Amazon Q, okay, based in the information that you just collected, get the information in CloudWatch, it brings me, let's say, more data, what I have about the workload. So I'm diving a little bit deeper, asking for the specific workloads identified by the script, right? So he again generated another JSON script summarizing everything. So you have it if you want to program and access it. But the Amazon Q will also, right? We'll show here in a few. Show me in plain text. I have 7 EC2 instances missing CloudWatch agent to collect. I have security concerns, for example, like say SSH access open to all IPs, so it's open to internet. So now what I did was, let me accelerate this a little bit, right? So I wrote a prompt saying, I jumped a little bit forward. I wrote a prompt saying, now create a Python script to fix the cloud sale issue. He created, because I don't trust, let's say, blindly any agent. I only say the yes, right? So I never type T to believing everything, so the Y. So he created the script and analyzed that a script request on a library that I don't have, right? So just there I'm just using, reviewing the script, what the script is doing, which services in the internet he's using to get my IP address. So just reviewing the script if it's good, and I thought that was good. So I told him, run this script, right? Just to accelerate this a little bit. I got an error, right? because my environment was without requests. So if we go a little bit forward, we can see that he run the pip install to install the library, run. So this is a command line. So pip install requests, pip fix, let's say, the script that he created. And to accelerate everything, because the time is flying. So now I have my environment corrected. We'll show my IP address, but this is, don't worry, is run, dynamic IP, right? Even the account number is already at the commission, right? So now I have my environment fixed without a single line of code, right? So what the idea here is we can use a custom system to evaluate workload and leverage a LLM already ready to do let's say, to do the scale up and, let's say, help you to fix your environment. And you don't need to create MCP server, all that. By the way, if you want it to discuss later, I have the codes for MCP server here because I also created to test it. But my question now for you is, why I need to create something if I have a tool that does everything out of the box? Why I need to complicate it, right? Here I'm using AWS CLI, Amazon Q, CloudWatch, and a custom script. How is that? So it's, I think it's a pretty cool experiment and a real use case for Amazon Q. I hope that you enjoy the conversation. Here is my LinkedIn, Gabriel LinkedIn, and the LinkedIn for the user group portal, and the meetup for user group portal if you want to join and keep in touch with the next events.
Thank you very much. Any questions? No? Not questions? Not that? Okay. Thank you.